Okay, all you heathens, it's been a while. To be honest, I really don't feel the need to explain why. I have my reasons. Those of you who know me know why. I'd like to start out by asking everyone to keep my brother from another mother out in the West, who's very, very under the weather right now. He was going to be on a podcast this weekend, but he's not so good right now, so keep him in your prayers. God will know who it is when you pray. You don't need to know his name. I just wanted to talk. I'm going to ballpark. I had this whole, we're still going to do it. He and I are still going to do our podcast later, but I want to touch on something that's starting to it's starting to well up. It's starting. You can see it if you're following multiple news outlets. Like I always say, you got to watch 4 or 5 news outlets to extrapolate some form of the truth. Also, I'm very active with watchdog groups that keep track of the rapid sale of ammunition or firearms or components of firearms. And if you take what can be extrapolated from the news and the facts of what is being sold as far as ammunition, handguns, and especially rifles, higher powered rifles, something's starting up. This isn't the usual getting ready for deer season or anything like that, because there aren't a lot of people that buy semi-automatic handguns to go deer hunting. But the amount of ammo that's being bought, there's a trend. It usually happens around election time, and this is not election time, and I don't want to hear midterm bullshit. People are buying ammo by the case. They're not buying it by the box. There are a lot of special purpose ammunition isn't even available right now, and no one can give a date when it will be available. So I know y'all listening to this podcast. I know we're all sitting on boxes and boxes of ammo and, enough guns to arm the Bolivian army. But we're not the ones that are buying them. We're not the ones that are trending to a call to listen, a call to arms. We need to be aware of the fact that our compadres on the other side of the house are starting to arm themselves, because lunatics like Hakeem Jeffries and Maxine Waters, and be aware, this has nothing to do with skin color or religious affiliation or anything like that. These are just 2 people that are actually calling for violence. Maxine Waters, if you don't know who that is, that's the black woman with the horrible wig that looks like they dug up a mummy and slapped a wig on it, and she sits in Congress and the Senate and says stupid things. She's actually calling for violence. She's calling for more of a passive approach, I should say. Not so much grab your guns, but she's pushing the envelope. Then you have Hakeem Jeffries, who's saying change won't happen if we don't bloody a few noses. Now, I want to run the comparison here between what Trump did in the January 6th insurrection and what the Democrats are doing right now. The Democrats are blatantly calling for violence. Trump never said, let's go storm the Capitol and let's break out some windows and bash Capitol Police or anything like that. I'm not saying he didn't poke the bear a little bit, but he wasn't calling for direct violence. Hakeem Jeffries, that ratchet chick, I can see her face, Crockett, whatever the hell her first name is, she's calling for violence. So you got AOC and Sanders that are flying around in their luxury jets, traveling around in their luxury cars, in their luxury hotel rooms, saying, eat the rich, basically. The rich don't deserve to be rich. They don't deserve that lifestyle. So we have Senate members that are actually calling for violence and hypocritically accusing Republicans of being rich and living a rich lifestyle, which I know I'm not, and I'm guessing if you're listening to this, you're not. But where I'm going with this is you have to look into the psychology of this. It does go deep. It's a deep dive for a lot of people, probably too much, and some of you are probably going to start tuning out here real quick. But it's the psychology of defeat. They have been getting beaten on every front. They have been getting slammed down, just like the Iran thing. They had no control over it, so they're digging in a little bit deeper. It's another scab they're picking at. And all these things are getting shot down on. You know, if they're not getting shot down, they're getting embarrassed, like the whole Minnesota thing. They need to respond. They need some form of an outlet. They need their culture, their cancel culture lifestyle is over. They're not being coddled anymore because they want to wear 40 facial piercings or dye their hair purple, or they want to go on strike at Starbucks. Well, Starbucks fixed them. They just started closing down stores. Coincidentally, it's all the stores that wanted to unionize, but, their cancel culture is becoming non-existent. They need some form of retaliation, something to feel like they're doing something. And I got to tell you, boys and girls, those of us that are wearing, God is number one t-shirts and, God bless America t-shirts and Trump t-shirts, we're the ones with the bullseyes on our backs right now. God bless the ICE agents, the shit they put up with, and God bless police officers, at least the clean police officers that are doing their jobs and trying to keep communities safe. But there is not enough of them to protect you and I. There is a lot going on, and I have a feeling that some of you are hearing a very loud popping sound right now. That is the sound of your head coming out of your ass because you haven't been paying attention to this. You need to start paying attention to this. You need to start watching when you're walking out to your car in a parking lot. You need to start looking around when you're walking around Walmart. And it's nothing necessarily dangerous, but these are the kind of people that want to start something in a Walmart and create a scene. Like I said, they need some kind of outlet. But then we have the opposite end of the spectrum, we'll say at Walmart, where ATB cards are being canceled, and these people want to rob you in the parking lot when you're walking out with your grocery cart. So far, it's been more talk than action, but we're coming up on the second holiday now where they're not going to be able to buy $3,000 worth of chips and soda and candy bars. And I have a feeling some of them larger women are really starting to jones for their snacks that they say they're buying for their kids. You're a target. I'm a target. And anyone that's with us, walking with us, is a target. I, for one, am extremely vigilant when I walk out to my car. I, for one, never go anywhere unarmed. And usually if it's somewhere I can't go armed, I don't go there unless I absolutely have to. I will confess right now, I had a situation yesterday where a gentleman ran up on me in a park. I have absolutely no idea why. I was sitting talking on the phone for over 3 minutes, and he came flying into the parking lot, and he had one of those big Rastafarian hats on with the dreadlocks, I think, up in it, or I don't know, a bag of hamsters. I don't know what the hell he had in there. And he came running around the front of his car, and I couldn't see his right hand. And I pulled up the Glock, and I had it pointed at him before he broke the front of his car, before he came clear of the front of his car. I think I innately hit the strobe on the tack light because the guy's face, he looked like he just saw a ghost. He did spin. He did this really cool spin on his back leg when he shifted his weight. I don't know how he did it without falling. And he went running into the store. I don't know what his intentions were. I couldn't see his right hand, and by the time he got clear of the car again, it looked like his hand was empty. But he wasn't coming over to give me some French fries, if you know what I mean. He was coming over to close with and start something, or worse. I don't know. Maybe he had something inside his coat. I have no way of knowing. But the fact that I pulled that weapon and pointed at him, I did not discharge my weapon. I never even put my finger on the trigger. But the fact that I pulled that weapon, it kept him at bay, it turned him around, and it chased his nappy ass away. I don't encourage you to do this if you're not trained in weapon discipline, trigger discipline, and it should be a last resort if you haven't been trained in weapon and trigger discipline, because your natural reaction when you freak out and go to yell is going to be to squeeze a trigger, and that's not a good thing, especially if they're unarmed. But I'm just saying, this is one of those situations where I might have stopped something far worse from happening just by making this guy drop a Hershey bar in his pants, if you know what I mean. I'm asking you. I'm not going to beg you to do shit, because I don't beg, but I'm imploring you to start engaging more situational awareness when you go places, when you go to your door in your house, if somebody knocks at your door or rings your doorbell, when you walk out to your car in the morning, or when you're getting out of your car at night. If you I'll tell you what, go to the mall somewhere, if they have malls anymore, or go somewhere like a grocery store and sit where you can see a lot of cars and watch how many people get into their cars without looking in the back of their cars. They just blindly walk and get into their car. And then, if you have time, go and watch it at night. These people are getting into their cars at night without looking in the back, and half of them don't lock their door, which, for the love of God, I don't know why they don't lock their doors. It's just laziness, I guess. But watch how many people get into their car without checking their back seat or their truck or whatever they're getting into. Just as an example. Come on, man. You guys, you got to be more aware, and you need to be aware that something's on the rise. Something's going to happen. It's going to start out small. It's going to start out, like they do whenever one of these trans lunatics shoots up a school or something, and they loosely try to tie it to the far left and this and that. That's how it's going to start out. It's going to be somebody's going to shoot somebody in a parking lot, or there's going to be a serial blah blah whatever hurting people or killing people, somewhere out in the Midwest or something, and they're going to loosely tie it to the far left, or they're going to be a furry, or their dog told them to do it, or something stupid like Son of Sam. But it's going to come out in the laundry that they're part of an organization, and they were mobilized or activated or whatever we're calling it these days. I'm not even talking about the threat of the sleeper cells from the Iranians. I'm not even talking about that now. I'm just talking about the danger that the far left presents right now. So, y'all can stumble through life blindly, if you're happy with that and you're content with that. Or, if you're sitting there on top of, 3 years worth of food and enough guns to fight off the National Guard for 2 hours, why the hell wouldn't you have more situational awareness when you're out and about? So I guess I ran all the way around the woods to get to a tree again to talk about situational awareness a little bit. But you have an enemy now. It's a clear and present danger now. As to when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, I can't tell you. I can't even tell you if it will happen. But the danger exists. I am comfortable saying that. I will go to my grave saying that. I'm ready. I'm prepared. I will defend myself. I will defend those I love and care about. Are you? Chances are you're not. Chances are you're just schlepping through day to day, not checking your car before you get in, opening doors without even looking through the people, looking out the window. This is your call to action. This is your call to start protecting yourself and those you love. This is the call for when I think there is a true threat on the horizon. And it's just a matter of time, because let's be honest, if you haven't faced it yet or you don't know it yet, if the Republicans start to lead in the primaries again, come next election, and the Republicans win again, January 6th is going to look like a Girl Scout party. What happened at the Capitol is going to be nothing compared to what these lunatics do. And I don't care what they say. You have not seen a Republican mass shooter, serial killer, or whatever for however long it's been. Everything that's happened has been far left. These people are looking for a reason to respond and activate. There's nothing you're going to do to stop it. They need God in their lives. That's the problem. They're so far left they've lost track of God and what they believe in, or at least what they should believe in, they're going to do something come next election. So I truly believe it. And if I'm wrong, God bless it. How much does it cost to be aware? It doesn't cost anything. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I can live with that. But y'all need to be more aware of what you're doing. I've seen it. I know people. I've been in a shop where I go to frequently. There are so many preppers that frequent this gun shop, and I can tell you, I see these guys getting into their cars with their tinted windows without even looking, without even doing anything. Half of them leave their cars running when they go into the gun shop. It's all bullshit. It's all for nothing if you're not actually following through on the actions you pretend to represent. So get your shit together, watch your six, and peace out.